aka Trigger Ranking. Y'all already know who it is, man. We in this thing chilling, man. We about to come in here tonight. If y'all coming in, hit the like button, subscribe, share. Also, y'all want to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Everything is at the top of the description of my page. Last thing, spam the chat with where you from. Everybody, y'all come in. Let's get it. Let's get it popping, man. Um, let's see. Oh, I do want to do this David stuff. So we're gonna do the David stuff first. Poetic Flacco. See what they talking about with David.
Get more for less with Tim Hortons $1, $2, $3 menu. Order any size beverage and add a fee.
After the information revealed today, I think it's almost certain at this point that David is going to get arrested soon. It's just a matter of time at this point. Let's start off where we left off last in our last video.
They got to catch that boy, though. He might already be out the country. They got to catch him.
Before we get to these new details that are pretty crazy. So last week, TMZ revealed that a grand jury was going to convene to figure out whether or not police can start calling witnesses to a grand jury so they could get people to start talking under oath, opposed to just hoping people will talk to them. They can now start legally pulling in witnesses they believe is involved or have information and make them legally talk.
The Celeste Rivas homicide investigation has taken a big turn. There is now a grand jury that has convened to try and dig up information that could lead to an arrest.
Yeah, the LA County District Attorney's Office presenting evidence to this grand jury, presenting the evidence they have at this point. And the grand jury, what we've heard is that the grand jury been convened for several days in mid-November. What we don't know is grand juries are all done with good reason in secrecy. So we don't know if they are done at this point.
They may still, my guess is they're still going. Let me kind of explain the way this works. This is an investigative grand jury. Is because the police can call somebody that they want to interview, and a lot of people climb up. They say, I'm not going to talk to you. They're afraid of incriminating themselves or other people. And it's very difficult sometimes for police to talk to people who are involved to get information. So the reason for a grand jury is that they can subpoena people and require them to testify. The only way somebody cannot testify is to use their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. But if there's no Fifth Amendment, they have to testify. So the police use the grand jury as an investigative tool to get things that they could not easily get.
I think even the non-answers would be clues. Like if somebody who's been around David, who you suspect but can't really.
This case, I'm going to say it. I know how y'all tired of me saying it, but this case is one of the weirdest ones we ever seen.
Prove it. That they were involved in moving Celeste's body. They were involved in moving the Tesla. They were involved in purchasing certain chemicals that were going to be used to get rid of Celeste's body. And you just have a hunch in your gut. Man, this person was around David every day. They involved somehow. But you just don't know how to prove it. And they come in front of that grand jury and they say, I'll plead the fifth. Now you know. Now you can start connecting the dots to figure out your circle of David's co-conspirators if he's involved in this. All right? Which I think is very important, because if you listen to the private investigator, he spoke on a couple of disturbing things that kind of point to, there was a ring hair assistant David. He spoke to, there's somebody who moved the Tesla. Like they have a positive idea of somebody who moved the Tesla and parked it, and it sat there until ultimately it was told that Celeste's body was found in the Tesla. That means that person moved that Tesla with Celeste's body in it. Then you know who did it, right? Well, that person needs to come to the grand jury, and that person needs to be interviewed and talked to, because that person knows information about why exactly he was moving that Tesla. And why was Celeste's body in that Tesla? They have information. So far, they're under no legal pressure. They're under no mandate to come and talk to the police, but when it's grand jury convened, they have to come down. Or even when like chemicals was discovered in the house, chemicals that were gonna be used to get rid of Celeste's body, like chemicals that have like really no other purpose but to get rid of dead bodies or to dissolve bodies. Well, I'm sure David didn't purchase those chemicals himself. I'm sure David didn't go to the store and purchase those chemicals.
You mean that there might be evidence that a crime was committed at that house?
Not so much a crime, no. And I'll just be honest with you. We don't have any evidence that anything happened to Celeste at that house. But there's definitely evidence that we've collected that helps the timeline. We now have a much better understanding of when that Tesla arrived at that final parking spot. I'll tell you, I do have surveillance from different houses in the neighborhood showing Tesla being moved. So things like that, and I'm not even saying that LAPD didn't have that. I'm sure they did, but we wanted to make sure. And, we did some work on the up-resing the footage to find out who was driving the vehicle. And there were some other items that were found at the house that weren't taken during the search warrant. Put her in this Tesla, and maybe he thought he could get somebody to get rid of that car, and it was like, no, I'm not doing it, and just got left there. But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her, and it's scary, sadistic stuff. And that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more about it for obvious reasons I can't, but it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on ultimately getting rid of her, and how maybe that Tesla was just a holding spot of time, and things just, their timing was just off as far as getting this done. But there's a few things that were just like, will blow your mind.
Up until that point,
How's biz, Ash? Great, especially with the help of zero accounting software. I can keep my cash flow flowing by giving customers more ways to pay.
There's absolutely no great professional wrestling, and that's what we do.
point, a lot of the people around David who may have been called in or been an interest to the police, they've been solid. They ain't been saying a word. But a grand jury testimony has started, and they're being required to come in and testify. And let's just say, man, they buckling under pressure. It looked like they folded. It looks like they scared. And it doesn't look good for David, right? Now, fortunately for us, right, we have people at the grand jury testimony, well, not we personally, not the channel, but the public had people at the grand jury testimony outside, little spies recording and watching everything. And their account of some things that took place at the grand jury doesn't bode well for David. It looks like his team is worried, and it looks like the walls is closing in.
David is in the crosshairs as a suspect. Something happened outside the grand jury room in the hallway that seems to rope in
Really focus on this.
music executives who may or may not know something connected to all
In
of this.
fact, the person who spent most of the day on Monday testifying before the grand jury is a guy who is the head of David's record label and the tour company that operates his most recent tour. His name is Robert Morgan Roth Jr. And he, like I said, spent most of the day on Monday before the grand jury.
David about to learn a hard lesson about the music business, man. When these people need you, when you're some type of hot commodity for them, man, they will bend their knee and they will protect you and they will love on you. But when you become more trouble than you're worth, when you're putting them at risk, you have to learn very quickly how you really got no friends in this. You about to learn very quickly how that loyalty ain't there no more, man. Right? That's just my perspective. If David think these people are about to go to that grand jury and protect him, he's out of his mind, bro. If they have any information that can throw you under the bus and take the pressure off them, they're gonna give it. I knew the industry was flawed, bro. Ask Bobby Shmurda. Ask Bobby Shmurda what happened when he was the hottest artist on earth, right? They was doing whatever for him. He caught that case, man. The judge asked the label, hey, bro, can y'all take responsibility for Bobby Shmurda? Can y'all put up some guarantees that if Bobby Smurder do this, y'all will lose? Man, they said, man, hell no. Hell no, we're not vouching for no Bobby Smurder, bruh.
When he walked,
It's crazy, dog. It's true though. I mean, all his friends is gone, bro. Your friends are out of here, bro. Like you fucked up, bro. You did some horrible, nasty work.
out of the grand jury, and this is what you're referring to, there was a conversation he had with his lawyer in a hallway. Now let's explain this. This is a kind of wide hallway outside of the criminal courts building, and the hallway echoes. And there were about a half dozen people around, and he was talking loud enough that people heard it.
Right.
And what was said is really, really interesting.
Because he said that, said to his attorney, they were grilling me.
This is the prosecutor. Her name is Beth Silverman. She is a very seasoned prosecutor, very aggressive prosecutor.
And what he said to his lawyer in this hallway, again, loud enough for other people to hear, he said, she was grilling me about why I didn't call cops.
Why I didn't call cops. That is really, really interesting. Now, his response is also interesting.
Right. He said,
I mean, maybe this dude didn't know about the whole situation. Like, and then when he found out, you know, if he's working with David, like he's not gonna just try to throw him under the bus. He's gonna try to save him for whatever, you know what I'm saying? I mean, David really the money bag, you know what I'm saying? For him, as far as that tour goes.
said, I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue with the tour.
So $1 million question here is, what exactly was the activity that rose to the level of criminal activity that the prosecutors believe that he had a duty to report to the police? What is it? Is it maybe David had an inappropriate relationship with Celeste and that he was around it, being like David business person, that he was around it and he never called the police? Maybe that, or is it something more sinister, right? He hadn't seen Celeste for a while. He heard Celeste overdose, or he heard David murder Celeste, or he heard, Celeste's body was being hit. What is it? To me, that's important. And
That might be a good point, because it's different scenarios and you might have had known about what was going on. Yeah, that could be some activities that a prosecutor would want to look into to see if, you know what I'm saying, you knew anything beforehand before this all got out into the public.
Let's say, well, not for his sake, because I don't care what happened to David. F him, right? I hope he do life in prison over this. But if I was David, I should say, right? Because F him. But if I was David, boy, I'm sweating bullets if I let him. Bro, I'm sweating bullets if this may have any information in regards to Celeste murder.
So let's kind of unpack this. Number one, we can't say what he was supposed to call cops about according to the DA. This could have to do with anything except for one thing. It seems that the DA believes that there was some criminal conduct for which cops should be called.
Right.
That seems
Why else would
obvious.
the DA be asking that?
And what the case is about is the LAPD and apparently the DA may have been the culprit here in the death of Celeste.
We know that calling him a suspect in her death.
That's right, and his answer to me sounds like someone who was either told some information or knew some information, formed a judgment that he wanted to continue with the tour rather than call police. It doesn't sound as if he was maybe sort of not in the know. It sounds as if he knew something.
So we should the other thing we don't know here is exactly what tour he's referring to. But we do know that when the body was found in David's car, he was on tour, in the middle of a tour that even after the news of the body being found in his car, continued that tour for another week or so.
Now, to be fair, this gentleman was with David since 2022, and there have been 3 tours. So it could be a prior tour, except The prior tour doesn't really make sense because Celeste wasn't an issue until this tour. What criminal activity was going on? So what criminal activity was going on? But you connect the dots there.
And this dovetails with our understanding that he is considered a suspect. David is considered a suspect, and this now dovetails with the prosecutor grilling.
You're in front of a grand jury and you're asking
you try and get charges.
his tour manager about, obviously.
So it's a big no-no to be overheard. I'm not sure it was intentional. However, that hallway does echo. We've been in it many, many times. But
I don't know what else y'all gathered from that, but what I gathered from that dude is panicking. He got into
shopping for tires used to really rub me the wrong way. That was before I went to TireRack.com. TireRack's tire decision.
That dude is panicking. He got into. They keep asking why I ain't call the police. That's a panicked, terrified person I've heard from their description of exactly what happened. And if that person is terrified, and that's just, can you imagine what the others is probably thinking right now? Because, I even watched a Trapper Ross video recently where he's claiming, some of them done skip town, bro. They in Amsterdam somewhere right now, man. Y'all can't run forever, man. One of y'all, some of y'all, gonna get dealt with, right?
Hey, it's about to get ugly. This what I was hoping for.
Right? Tell them folks what you know. Tell them everything, man. Y'all not guided by no street code, bro. Why you protecting him for?
It is taken very seriously when the grand jury proceedings are publicly available in this way.
And it just is interesting. It's like, why didn't you tell police? It means he said something or acknowledged something that triggered the DA to say that if you knew what you just said, why didn't you call the police? And he's saying, not my responsibility.
So you can't the law is pretty much all everywhere. You can't just come out and say, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, the way it went, blah blah blah." Nah, you can't do it like that. You can't do it like that. You got to report. Like if I see somebody murder somebody, bro, I gotta call 911 to get, come on, bro.
My job is to make sure the tour goes on. That's really interesting.
That boy needs to be worried, man. All right? It looks like LAPD, they ain't solved Tupac murder. They ain't solved Biggie murder, man. All right, but it looks like LAPD is going to solve the murder of Celeste, man. All right. Congratulations, LAPD. Y'all finally did something right. All right. Y'all finally took y'all lazy buns, I should say, from off y'all couches and actually decided to be interested in justice for once. Okay. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this?
That man called LAPD lazy. We ain't gonna say that, but yeah. Hold on, let me see. We're gonna trap more Ross. We're going to trap more Ross. That's who we about to react to. They talking about Vine or 051 Melly. Let me see what they talking about though.
MedVet is 24/7 emergency and specialty veterinary care for the curveballs you don't see coming.
Trapmore Gang, I recently did a video about one of the most notorious killers in Chicago who has apparently been rumored to have had two of his close friends lined up for playing both sides of the gang war. This was the video that I did, 051 Melly exposed for murdering two of his own friends. Now, if you know the channel, you'll know that I did a whole documentary on 051 Melly. Okay, on the main channel, I did a video called The Many Murders of 051 Melly, and essentially this documents a number of murders that Melly's been involved in, allegedly a higher body count than King Von. And this is somebody who is very much feared in the Chicago culture. But would you believe it if I told you that King Von himself, despite many of Melly's biggest ops actually respecting him, I broke down in a previous video THF Basil and Melly having this crazy back and forth on IG Live and showing some respect to each other, even despite the fact that they had allegedly literally killed each other's friends. Would you believe it if I told you that King Von was actually planning to line up 051 Melly? Now, it's hard to believe, Maybe it's not hard to believe, but apparently King Von was truly planning to backdoor 051 Millie, and I'm basically going to break down all of the history behind it. But before I do that, man, shout out to my guys at Sanucci who just iced me out with some sexy little chains. Okay, this little rainbow joint I'm kind of rocking with, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to come with no weird vibes, but like the little rainbow multicolored thing kind of giving me some, you know what I'm saying? Giving me some,
so you rocking with
flamboyant vibes, man. So shout out to the
rainbow, you got it. Hey, but nah, the rainbow is really to be honest with y'all, the rainbow is really a good symbol. It ain't what people make it out to be. Like, some people have taken it, you know, and have used it for something that it wasn't supposed to be used for. I'll put it like that.
Paid me for this, but they just said, yo, let us send you a chain, and I actually want to show them some love. So I really, really appreciate it. But anyway, okay, all of this Melly law, all right, is very crazy, okay? And the fact that King Von was apparently trying to line up Melly is a pretty wild, like, piece of history in the Chicago gang scene. Now, the gang war in Chicago has been mainly defined by this gang war, okay? The BDs versus the GDs, the Black Disciples versus the Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples like King Von, Lil Durk, all of those guys that are famous for being involved in this gang war. And then you got FBG Duck on the GD side of the war, Ruger, his brother Brick. There's been, you know, Wooski. The GDs did finally get let into the door eventually, but like the BDs really had all the motion in the rap game and were really kind of like causing a lot of problems for the GDs, making it very hard for them to operate.
This is just too much, bro. Like, I mean, the GDs, the BDs, the Vice Lord, like, it's too much, bro. We just need to get along, man.
Now, ironically, some people might not know this, some people might not realize this. Despite being one of the biggest ops of many of the most famous GDs in Chicago, 051 Melly was actually a Black Disciple, just like Lil Durk and King Von, even though he was rumored to have actually been one of the people that basically is responsible for the murder of Lil Durk's cousin, Newski. 051 Melly was actually a Black Disciple, but was also BDK. He was insane. He was insane BD. Look at this.
One of the most reckless BDs out here around BDK. BDK. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. We ain't coward shit. Hold on. No.
He's saying he BD, but he BDK. How crazy is that? I'm playing it again. I'm running it back.
One of the most reckless BDs out here around BDK. BDK. Hold on. Don't go nowhere.
The most reckless BD out here, but he BDK, and they cracking the trays in the background. That's a diss.
My man been dead for a minute though. Like the dude they talking about, 051 Melly, he been dead for a minute.
The BD hand sign. So you bend your fingers, you cracking the tree, you dissing, you BDK, all right? And just for good measure, so nobody's offended by me doing no gang signs, all right? I'm gonna just put you on game, okay? The pitchforks is the GD sign, you do it upside down, that's GDK, okay? The trays, the three, the gates, that's for the BDs. You crack and break your fingers, that's BDK, okay? So I'm not taking sides. I've done all the gang signs and the Ks just for good measure, okay? So you can't hate on me. But those are the signs if you didn't know. Now, Motor from Jaro City, this obviously is one of the people that 051 Melly has recently been accused of lining up, one of his friends from a set that's allied with his crew. But here's where it gets confusing, because Motor from Jaro City is mainly a Gangster Disciple set, it's mainly a GD set. He was also a Black Disciple who built his reputation on being BDK or an insane BD. Okay, check this out.
Yeah, you know, but Motor BD and he BDK. You know, especially the BDK movement, you know what I'm saying? We into it with dude, he really turns his BDK up. So he be throwing up the trays and cracking the trays at the same time. Like cracking the trays is a disrespectful gesture towards the Black Disciple, you know what I'm saying, organization. You know what I'm saying? Cracking the trays, you know what I'm saying? You basically disrespecting them, you know what I'm saying? You can't drop them like you would normally do to a other gang set. You can maybe drop it, but you can't drop it because they trays is still standing up. So you must crack them in order to, you know what I'm saying, destroy them. So, yeah, you know, Motor is BD and BDK. You know what I'm saying? And it came to times that one time that we went to a BDK Friday. You know what I'm saying? We went to BDK Friday. Now, BDK Friday was going on heavy after Lil JoJo got killed. You know what I'm saying? And it was going on back towards that way, towards the Inglewood way, Brick Squad way. You know what I'm saying? We go over there, we kick it, we chill. You know what I'm saying?
So apparently, according to FYBJ Main, there's a famous clip where he's talking about being in a club with Motor, and he said Motor.
Man, this shit is like it's like, bro, you get kerfuffled because it's like it's just so much shit going on, bro. Like
Throwing up the gates with one hand and then he cracking them with the other hand. He's throwing BD and BDK at the same time. They call that an insane BD, and that is truly insane. But in the lead up to Jaro City Motor and Side's death, they unfortunately lost their lives together. They had established a strong friendship and alliance with 051 Melly, as well as possibly the most infamous GD out of the city, FBG Duck. Look at this.
It's busy, and eating out just to save time gets expensive. That's why I keep Healthy Choice Simply Steamers on hand at all times. Half the price of eating out. They're grilled chicken and broccoli.
Oh dear. So it is a fun fact for you. When a video is demonetized, it doesn't let you share the time code. So I had a video, usually I paste in the link and it's got the time code and it will start the video at the exact point I started it. But if the video is demonetized like that, it basically, when you click accept, it invalidates the time code. So suddenly it goes back to the beginning. That's a fun fact for you guys. So this is FBG Duck, Motor, Side, 051 Melly. They chill, they locked in, they you know what I'm saying, they have smoking there's a little Newport that they smoking on. Hold on, all right, and they playing cards, they probably playing Texas. Hold on, and Newport they smoking on, okay? And if FBG Duck was here, you know he would have been bumping that young boy Massa for sure. But anyway, okay, Melly was especially close to Motor and Side, and he would regularly post them on his social media. All right, check this out.
See, we got some new things.
This nigga Motor slow as hell. You want me to do it for you, bro? Got you, bro. Come on. I got you, bro. Take him off the car. We don't even know what phone the car on. His ass a true idiot, folks. I'm hungry as hell.
So they was real homies, man. They was outside together. They was having fun, and just it's so bizarre and chilling to actually even consider the fact that Melly would have actually murdered his own friends like this when they did. It's all good, it's all fun and games. They out here having fun. But in an interview with Truth Teller TV, Jaro City Fats would reveal that before King Von started claiming O-Block, he too was actually close with some Jaro City members. And it's crazy to think that they're saying he popped at FBG Bar. They're saying that he killed KI. FBG Bar's originally from Jaro. And Jaro got a big problem with the beat. Bro, it's crazy that even Von would be linked in with someone else. That's what
Everyone make it seem like King Von was like a 63rd slave, okay? He was like the boogeyman of you guys. Did you feel him? Did y'all feel his presence out there, or was a lot of that internet kind of evacuated?
Yeah, that's what the modern day internet do. They also made it look like KI was the opposition slave.
Okay, we didn't think KI.
And I didn't see none of that firsthand. So like the internet got, he said Von the boogeyman.
Well, Von was on our side before he became a boogeyman. See, what the streets don't do, they don't give motherfuckers credit. You get credit they do. You get crazy, but at the same time, you was a friend before you was a foe. Von really come from Killerwood, 78th. They're my boys. Rest in peace, Nico. Von and CJ. You feel me? They came, before motherfucker went all the way in the gates, they was on that Everhard and that Vernon and that same lines with everybody else. It took a fight with him and Joey for him to go all the way in the gate.
And I don't believe they could take that from people like without no homework and no recognition. I don't believe it.
So they're saying that Von was cool. Von was from Killerwood originally. He was locked in with Jaro City members. Now, another member of Jaro City by the name of Payne would later discuss finding out about King Von and Motor's friendship while locked up in jail. Read this.
Life goes on. I see Jaro City Motor sitting at the table with this nigga phone. I see Motor sitting at the table with this nigga, man. On phone him, Von, nigga, the next day. time. We eat burgers and fries, I'll never forget it. Motor sitting at the table across from, they sitting across from each other, keeping laughing, having a good old time. But it blew me, Motor, man. And that's one of the faces that was just on the collage for Dirk birthday bash on folks' grave, Motor, on folks.
It's just too much.
I slide on them like, folks, what the fuck did you sit at the table keep what y'all talking about, man? You this ain't that, but we on their ass, boy, on any motherfucker ass, you tweaking. He man ain't that. So one of the BDs, matter of fact, I just talked about this on Cam Capone. On two times, I just talked about this on Cam Capone, man. Shout out to Cam Capone, man. Shout out to my big corporate cartel. But yeah, man, one of the BDs from Brandon, that's where Motor originally from. I'll give y'all the story on Charles City Motor, man. Make sure y'all type in, man, hit that subscribe button. But on folks in the grade, I'm hollering at Charles City Motor, telling him, like, man, you tweakable nigga from Brain Dead, nigga named Trey. He got hazel eyes. He over here talking. Man, get on that. Like, nigga, why you talking about? Because I'm talking about blah, blah, to him. Like, why the fuck, nigga, we on niggas' ass? Why you sleep this shit on folks? Nigga, folks right next door. You on what? Man, get your bitch ass out of here, nigga. And I'm BDK, fuck King David. I go like that on him. And I beat you. What's up? You can't win against me. What's up? He freeze up. He ain't do shit.
So basically, right, King Von apparently was close with Motor, and they're basically saying, yo, like, we really BDK, we're trying to kill Von, we're on his ass and he on our ass. How are you friends with this guy? This is going to create a backdoor situation, and a lot of people feel like King Von was trying to backdoor Melly. He was going to use that friendship with Motor to kind of get the drop and get Melly out of the way, especially with his friendship with Lil Durk, everything that happened with Newski. Locked in with Bezu as well, and they saying Bezu's stepson got killed by 051 Melly or someone around him. So Von was a smart dude. He was trying to backdoor folks, right? And what's even more crazy is that Jaro City Pain would later explain that before Motor and Side were killed, okay, Motor's friendship with King Von would cause some tension, and at some point Motor out of nowhere would suddenly stop claiming BDK. And quite frankly, it's crazy to say it, but it sounds like Melly might have actually killed Motor and Side and got him out of the way because he was thinking he couldn't trust them. He was thinking they were friends with King Von, they were no longer BDK, and that they basically might have been the weak links to line Melly up, giving the drop to King Von, and he had to take his own friends out.
That's crazy, bro. Like, you can't even, it just, bro, I don't even know what to say, bro. This is just, it is what it is, bro. Like, I mean, this is rough, though.
To prevent that happening. Isn't this the craziest outcome you could imagine? Look at this last clip.
Zero, I have less stress this end of financial year.
Healthy and happy starts at Zermino Pediatrics, shaping healthier futures.
That's how I met Kiddo, because of Motor.
Hey, whoever watching, put a comment in the section. Tell me where you come from.
You know what I'm saying? So he was tied in with 051 hard. He was tied in with 051 hard. And him and Von was tight too. Him and Von, everybody on the side, you know what I'm saying? Von fucked with Motor. They fucked with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's how that happened down there when we was, you know what I'm saying, Indiana. How we ended up bumping heads, you know what I'm saying? Because they was kicking and chilling and talking. You know what I'm saying? And I took offense to hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when Motor started really like kicking with 051 and started like locking in with them, going down there with them and kicking with them, you start to see a change in them too. You know what I'm saying? And it was just different. It wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the same. He was on the block, used to kick it with Twink and kick it with Dome, and you know what I'm saying? It was different. It wasn't even the same when he used to be like for the BDK Fridays, like, cause Motor had it for BDK Friday. Like he like the coordinator of the shit. Like he know where it's gonna be at what time, all that before everybody. You know what I'm saying? Before everybody. So this was before this time, all that, like Motor you just seen a change in Motor, but it never was a change like a bad change. It was more like a street change. He's starting to get more aware of what's really going on and how to really move. You know what I'm saying? And I just hate that him or Marcus didn't really pay attention to, because that was Marcus' second chance at life, bro. That's some real shit.
Hey,
First time.
they got this shit chirping.
You know what I'm saying? He got shot in the head with TV over there in EJ City and somebody else hood. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Now this time he didn't make it out with Marcus. With Mo, I mean, Side didn't make it out. I just wish that folk them understood who they was and what type of valuable players they was, and you know what I'm saying, and what team they was on. You know what I'm saying? If they would have moved better, thought better, and never been on 51st, man, they'd still be alive right now to this day. And Marcus, man, they'll still be alive, man, if they weren't over that fucker with 51st, man. I don't know what it is with 51st, man, but it's like 51st got a curse, man.
So he basically saying, all right, them not knowing what sides they was on, playing different sides, not being straight up about their position in the gang war, having friendship with King Von, not being fully BDK when Melly was BDK and messing with 51st, even though they're from Jara City, which really was King Von's ops, but he was using them. That's what got them set up. And all of this lines up with the report that recently came out, I covered in the previous video, that basically explained why this with Melly. Okay, and I'm going to read this to you again before I close out this video, just to give you the full context. Okay, this is basically an interview with an informant who explained that Redacted begun to hang out with his Redacted along with Melly and a guy named Redacted, related that evening to the homicides of Morris and Clark. Who knows if King Von was involved? King Von could have been one of these names. He began to hang out with Melly and a guy named King Von, related to that could be there. All right, who knows? They said he was at named somebody's residence at 39th and Lake Park. Redacted, who goes by the nickname of Melly, stated, I caught him for playing both sides. I didn't even have to get out the car. I shot him from the window and the car ran into bars. And mother effer couldn't drive. Redacted. Yarmo was demonstrating with his hands how he was shooting out the car window. Redacted that the car was a Chrysler 300 with tints and very distinct rims. Redacted related that Yarmo would joke with Redacted, saying, anyone want a barber's sandwich? Detective administered a photo lineup to the witness, Area 1 witness room. The witness circle position 1, who is Melly. Stamped it. The detective entered the witness room after the photo lineup and had Redacted a still photo of Melly. Redacted related that was Melly. Then Redacted signed the photo identifying Melly as Melly, the man who shot and killed both victims. RD handed Redacted 2 still photos of victims. Morris and Clark related that he knew Motor, who was the victim, Wilbert Morris. Redacted signed the photo identifying victim Morris. Redacted related that he did not know victim Redacted, but he does believe he's seen him around before, but wasn't certain. Detectives yearned.
Hey man, this gang stuff, bro, it's crazy. We're going back to Poetic Flacco, man.
Hey man, stop.
Smoke moonshine for a reason. Because we need speed and electricity in every move we make.
It looks like Adam 22 finally got his revenge on his arch nemesis, Aaron the Plumber. His revenge against Aaron came via an interview with his ex-girlfriend, Vendetta. Adam came to this interview with straight vengeance. Usually guests get asked about themselves, asked about their history, what they do for a living, things about themselves, interesting facts. During this interview, I don't think Adam asked her one question about herself. This was strictly about getting at Aaron the Plumber and embarrassing him. I'm usually against women doing tell-all interviews on ex-boyfriends they used to date that are popular or have clout. I usually consider it clout chasing. I think it's effed up. But in this situation, I can't really be mad at her. I can't really, say anything bad about her because Aaron the Plumber has done a lot of exposing in this relationship. Aaron the Plumber has exposed this chick on several occasions. Aaron the Plumber has released career damaging information about this chick.
Hey, I'm about to pop out and pop back in because I don't know, ain't nobody is